Thank you very much. Mr. Carver.
Thank you, Chairman. Your Excellency, welcome. First of all, my condolences over the tragic fatalities at both the crane accident and the Hajj pilgrimage. I know how hard your country has worked to try to prevent such occurrences, and I'm sure you'll now be taking even greater measures to protect pilgrims from across the globe, including many from my own constituency of the West Midlands in the United Kingdom. Both the EU institutions and Member States are, as you appreciate, completely focused on the current migrant crisis and the debate over the movement from the Middle East and Africa towards the European Union. I acknowledge your support for Yemeni and Syrian refugees, but with the greatest respect, your country also has the unique facility of a huge air-conditioned tented city, specifically for the use of many pilgrims for the annual Hajj. Can this facility be made available and extended to offer further support for refugees? Changing track completely, I have a particular interest in the tragedy that has befallen the Yemen, and accordingly I'd like to ask your opinion surrounding my following questions. Can you elaborate on the Saudi exit strategy in the Yemen? What post-conflict plans does your country have for the Yemen, specifically addressing attempts to prevent any power vacuum that could be possibly exploited by fundamentalists? And could you also comment on the likelihood of Yemen remaining as a viable single state, and specifically what is the Saudi attitude towards the possibility of a separate southern state? I'd like to finish by joining colleagues in asking the Saudi King for clemency again for Ali Al-Nimra and Rauf Badawi. Thank you.
Most of the questions are actually can be categorized into few issues, and I would like actually to ask your permission as well to ask my colleagues to help me in addressing some of these questions. But I will start by the issue of Yemen, if you allow me. And also I would like to, if you allow me, I will not identify the person who asked, but I will ask all the answer all the questions which are related to Yemen. It would be maybe easier for me to answer all the questions on Yemen. With respect to, first of all, the number of people who had been returning from Yemen back because of the support that Saudi Arabia had made to the legitimate government. I would like actually to say and stress on this that the question should be how many we have stopped from leaving the country. This is really a question that you should ask and think about. What we have done in Saudi Arabia really, or the coalition who had actually stepped into to support the legitimate government of Yemen, is really to prevent the mass flow of people to become refugees, what happened in Syria. And I don't have exactly the numbers, but they are definitely not the millions that we have in Syria, not the 10 million who had fled their country, not the 2.5 million that we have in Saudi Arabia, not the 6 million or 4 million probably in other Arab countries. So we have definitely helped now whoever left to the nearby southern part of Yemen started to come back. The government started to take control. The militias is actually retreating. A lot of the now earlier places which had been confiscated or taken over by the Houthi militias had been liberated, and also the armed forces that has been a threat to the people of Yemen, like what happened in Syria, had been neutralized, idealized, destroyed, so this will not be used against the people. We want to assure you that the numbers that has been given here regarding the casualties, that we had actually been responsible for 2,000 casualties and 6,000. Saudi Arabia has been abiding by the international laws. We have not entered the country, and we had not been interested in destroying the infrastructure of Yemen. We were there to idealize forces that were a threat to the region and a threat to the people. And all the targets that had been hit were military targets and bases and platforms for rockets launching. Of course, there is always going to be some casualties in any military conflicts. But we had been very, very careful, and the government has been declaring that they have been taking all measures to ensure that this is to the bare minimum possibility in this area. Now, with respect to the support that we have been doing to Yemen and what we have been trying to do to ensure that we will get out of Yemen, the strategy, the exit strategy from Yemen is, of course, dictated by Resolution 2216, the Security Council Resolution 2216, which is that the Houthi has to go back and surrender all governmental weapons and confiscated areas, and to leave the cities that they had taken by force. So the resolution is very clear. Saudi Arabia has no interest in staying in Yemen. Saudi Arabia does not want to interfere in the internal affairs of Yemen, and it does not look for a divided Yemen. It has been committed regarding the conference that has been done in Riyadh, which is made by the national organization of the various political group of Yemen, and supported a unified Yemen under federal government management, and Saudi Arabia will support the Yemenis to live in harmony with all groups participating in the affairs of running their country. And as soon as the Resolution 2216 is actually in place and fulfilled, we have no interest in spending any more time in Yemen. This is a very clear issue for us with respect to Yemen. I think I have answered the two of the most important issues, which are Syria and Yemen. With respect to what do we do, or what is our advice, and how we can stop the flow of refugees, and what can the Arab countries do? You know, it's a very straightforward answer. My main answer is really stop the conflict, stop the massacre. Find reason for people to come back to their homes. That's what we try to do in Yemen. Without that, the rest of the remaining people in Syria, they have to leave. They have no reason to stay, because now it's a big chaos. Nobody knows what, who, where. Every place in Syria is in a state of chaos, and I think now even the government does not control more than 5% of the country. So it's really up to the international community to take the initiative, because without, you know, as Her Excellency, told me that, the whole community need to take place. Yes, of course, the whole world community should take place in ensuring that this issue is solved. Without the agreement of the whole international community and take active role, there will not be a solution. I am very sure of that. But with respect to how much can the Arab countries do more, see, the Arab countries cannot, especially the people will be willing to live in the areas next to their country, which is Syria, Jordan, Lebanon. But these countries cannot take more anymore. And they don't actually want to come to our country. I'll tell you very honestly, you know, because it is far away from their place. But we have already, whoever wants to come, we have accepted. We have not actually even rejected anybody. We did not even say refugees. Anybody who comes, we accept him. But the problem is that they want to leave. They want, actually, they have dreams. And that's why I think you start to have some of them. So, frankly speaking, the only solution that we see is really solving the conflict itself and make sure that there is no outflow of these refugees.